Hey everyone, it's baze.djunkiii transmitting from Hamburg, Germany, back with a new video. Well, finally back with a new unboxing video because I received mail again, once again coming in from France actually. As you can see here, from a label that is called Bizou Records, I guess. I cannot remember if I've gotten like mail from them like in the past, but I'm pretty sure that I've reviewed some of their stuff at least like 1.5 years ago maybe, so it might be that it got sent to me via a promo agency, the one that like kind of stopped sending me stuff because they don't send out like physical like sound carriers anymore to like music writers and stuff, which is a pity, but well, one cannot help it. So that's also why my website nightstares.de has slowed down a little bit in terms of like regular updates and stuff, but I'm still working on a new concept and stuff. But before I go into this one, which was sent to me like for €1.11, which is pretty amazing because if I were to send out a CD to France or like a tape to the Netherlands, which I've done like the day before yesterday, it cost me like €12, so like 10% of that is the other way around, like sending it from France to Germany for what reason ever. But first of all, I want to recap on the Ground Zero Techno Camp in Meppen and the weekend I spent in Uelzen at Sascha Miller's place, which was like a pretty fun weekend actually. The set at the Ground Zero Techno Camp went down well. I played from like, there was a little bit of delay from 4 p.m. to like around like 5:30. 6-ish kind of, because the act that was like supposed to play after me, Citric Acid, had some technical problems in terms of setting up his stuff, so I like extended my set a little. It was pretty hot that day and like the sun was burning down, so it was not like as I had kind of expected, a dance party at this point, because well, it was way too hot and a lot of people were like chilling, and the whole thing basically is like more a techno, free techno acid thing. So at first, when I was asked to play like a UK garage set, I was kind of skeptical, and but it turned out, funnily, that even though there were like people only hanging around and not much going on the dance floor, a lot of people came up to me afterwards and like telling me that they really enjoyed like hearing like UK garage again, and that they hadn't heard that in ages and stuff, and really enjoyed the set. So this was like a fun little thing that happened. The last half an hour was a little bit tricky because, as I said, Citric Acid was setting up and like he had only like ground noise coming from his equipment because he was playing live, and he and the sound technician were like kind of like moving cables and stuff, and I had like to check his signals all the time while I was DJing. So the last half an hour of the set wasn't like technically that perfect or like advanced or like tight as I usually mix, but I've heard the set, and well, some things happen like that, some like, I don't know, skipping needles and stuff, but otherwise after like having not played on a big PA, like a big PA for a while, set was pretty good. Like technically we were pretty productive in the studio. Sascha and I like sat down and did like a kind of footwork dubstep hybrid remix for an artist. Then we went over to Ufuk Esbaya's place later on in the evening, which is also known as PTBS in the hard techno scene, and well, we did another track there which was like pretty spontaneously, finished that in like 3 hours, like more of a hard techno rave thing. And also then on, I don't know, Saturday or Friday evening, we were hanging around and we're like, okay, let's do like a minimal house track that sounds like it could have been released on the Lado Mart label back in '95. Pretty lo-fi, not much going on in terms of elements, but pretty groovy. And now I think I have to find funds to press all of that on vinyl. So a lot of things are coming, and we have big plans for world domination and stuff. Unfortunately, after my set at the Ground Zero Techno Camp, it was like getting cloudy and like thunderstormy, and rain was pouring down, so they had to break down basically the open air floor. Sascha didn't play for that reason because it was all soaking wet, and the ground, like the ground floor was like covered in like 3 to 5 centimeters of water, and they had like a tent thing going on, like which covered the equipment, but from there like water poured down like in liters actually, so that wasn't happening. And in the evening PTBS didn't also get to play for some reasons, but I met a lot of nice people there. Shout out to Sarah K from the Ugly Fun Camp, which is now residing in Berlin, which I've known for ages from the Rave Line days. Shout out to Evadum, shout out to like Citric Acid and Heiner and all the crew I've met there. But now let's go into this one, because I've been rambling way too long. Bisou from Paris actually. Well, as I said, I reviewed some of the label. Not too sure what kind of music I reviewed, because like it has been like a year or so, or more than a year, so I'm not remembering that exactly. But we got stuff in here. We got a postcard, as it seems, and some info, and this is interesting. So we got a sweet little postcard here from the Bisou camp, and it says, I hope you'll find interest in these new releases. Regards, there is info at baze.djunkiii is the thing. So here's a little postcard, little like funny drawn thing here. We got 3 press releases here, I think, and 3 releases that are 3 like CD releases covered in shrink wrap, but only one has. Okay, let's find out what this is. All of those are covered in shrink wrap, so I'm gonna remove that first before I go into showing all these. And in the back, as you can see, I've switched up the records that are standing at the wall behind me. This time it's all acid, so because I've been like diving into harder music again, and I want to continue to do that, so a lot of like pulled out some hard acid, some acid classics, and I've been like, as you probably have seen on my Instagram, been posting a lot of breakcore recently and stuff, so I'm more ready, and after that weekend more inspired to dive into the like harder, more edgier and like extreme music sitting in my collection. And we got here a press release for Suri Tanuki, Caroline Suri on voice, Tanuki on electronics. It's like a very interesting photograph here, and a little press sheet which looks like this. And we got Tanuki is a master of electronic engineering, and Caroline Suri, which is a YOLO ethologist with stacked verbs, meet in a deliciously chaotic fusion. Okay, creating an effect both captivating and singular, a daring blend of Tanuki's musical skills and Caroline Suri's unbridled artistic expression, offering a unique and unpredictable sensory experience. Caroline is an illustrator and co-founder of Ligonier Cree, a publishing house apparently, and Tanuki is inspired by African wax prints, although he is neither Dutch nor from Ankara. This is all very chaotic and not really helpful at all in terms of to like approximate what kind of music we find here, but we have at least an intense artwork. The album is called L'Index Lecher. Probably, I don't speak French and I don't have any idea how to pronounce any French words for the most part. So, well, CD front and CD back. And this is what the inside looks like. Very intense graphic design, so this probably leads to well, prints and abstract and modern art. There's not much said about what is in there, like what kind of instruments are used, and apart from electronics, which is of course electronics, and all the graphic design in here is also pretty wild. So well, this could be everything from like plunderphonics to like playful electronica to probably rap and art school, whatever. Interestingly, one track is called Meine Schwester, which is my sister, and it's in German actually, but have a look at these graphics things. So what do you make out of this? Any predictions? Let me know in the comments here, because this leads to nothing or to everything, depending on where you stand in terms of imagination. There are children's pictures, like similar to the Where's Waldo things, which are called Wimmelbild in German, which have like a gazillion things going on, and you have to find out like details of that. So this is kind of reminiscent of that in a way. But let's see what we got here as well. Another CD, which is Paul Collins, Patrick Müller, Thierry Müller, and Quentin Rollet, correspondant en lettres, Bisou 023. Is this somewhat like meaning, or someone in the veins of like sending letters to each other or something? It's a very interesting artwork here, which puts all the names together and mixes up the letters and stuff. I've reviewed stuff produced by Quentin Rollet Roulette maybe in the past as well. I remember the name not only from the Bisou Records label, so also an artist which is very wide-ranged musically and not easily to pin down. CD looks like this, also with this interesting pattern print thing, which I find really interesting in the in the inside of the CD, because it's like actually two patterns which are kind of like not printed on top of each other like exactly, but kind of shifted, which results in that interesting pattern shift, which is kind of hypnotic and like mind-boggling kind of if you look at this like for a long while. So could be trippy, could also be jazz for some reason. Might be, I don't think it's jazz, but jazz might have an influence in here as well. It's an album, 5 tracks long, 14 minutes, 26, 38, 44, 58 minutes long. Well, there is Lyra 8, which is a synthesizer on there, Moog Grandmother, Moog Sub 837. We have some saxophone and alto soprano, Korg, Smart Faust apps, guitar, so might be some jazz in here as well, or some like real instruments. So looks like this. And the last one is called Night in Red Satin, which is Jérôme Lorichon, Thierry Müller, and Quentin Rollet once again. This looks like a picture or like a poster for like an old horror flick or like monster flick on Records actually, which is another label from France. You can see the logo down in the back. Here, Records written with a Q. Actually, very intense cover, I really love this. Would make up a nice poster as well. And the inside looks like this, which is also, well, very art house, film, horror, lo-fi, B-movie, sci-fi from the 70s maybe. It gives some vibes and that are like pointing in that direction, and could be a soundtrack for a film that has never been made actually. I don't know anything about that. There's not much said and no instrumentation given, but a very interesting and intense CD artwork with that eye on there. So another one to review. All reviews are to pop up on my website nightstar.de within the next weeks, I guess, or within the next days, starting from like Monday onwards, because today I'm hopping off to the Damaged Goods 11th birthday party which will be like 3 DJ sets. One of them will be from my man Yo-Yo Brandt, which is also like a member of the convent and with whom I've like produced that kind of remix for No More back in the day, like a few years ago. And also a live band which is called Mangel Exemplar, which I've met actually at the record store where I work at a few months ago. Not too familiar with the music. I have heard 1 or 2 songs of them, but I'm gonna see them live today, so that's what's happening later on. But now I'm gonna hop off into editing mode. See you in the next one.